Welcome to another episode of the Elevated Chat Room. Today we plan to elevate your mind to help elevate your life. It's Dwayne Malone, your host, and also we have Mr. Lonzo Jones.
Welcome back to the Elevated Chat Room. It's your boy, Lonzo Jones, and like he said, I'm always rolling with my guy, Dwayne Malone. We got a new episode for you guys. Topic. 5 top reasons why hurt people hurt. 5 top reasons why hurt people hurt. We've all heard that statement or that quote, hurt people hurt. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to give you guys 5 reasons why we feel like hurt people hurt. It's in no specific order.
Yeah.
But just rock with us, roll with us. If you got any comments, feel free to, to write them in, and we're going to roll with it. Here we go.
Let's go.
So number 1 on our list is unresolved trauma. We've been talking about trauma a lot over the past episodes, but unresolved trauma. Often hurt people carry unresolved traumas from their past, which can lead them to project their pain onto others as a way of coping.
Yeah.
Now, that way of coping is obviously not the best way to cope. And that's something we'll tap into on down on our list. But unresolved trauma is actually unresolved emotions that can lead to outbursts. So when you're dealing with trauma from your past and you haven't dealt with it, you'll find yourself getting very emotional. You'll find yourself having these outbursts when a trigger happens.
Yeah.
So if you don't unresolve that trauma, you're going to walk around and you're going to hurt people, whether you're doing it intentionally or not. You will sabotage your own relationships.
Yes.
Because of past trauma. You have a hard time trusting people. So these unresolved traumas are real, and trauma happens to everybody at some point. So the question is, do you have unresolved trauma? It says right here, man, it says, if you don't deal with your past pain, you will cause pain.
Ooh, say that one more time, just in case they didn't hear you.
If you don't deal with your past pain, you will cause pain.
Wow.
So hurt people hurt because of unresolved trauma. You got you a quote over there, man?
I have a quote.
You want to add to this?
I have a quote. It says, hurt people because sometimes pain is the only language that they know. You heard me? Let me say that one more time.
That's good stuff.
Let me say that one
elevate
more time.
Your mind, elevate your life.
Yeah. Hurt people because sometimes the pain is the only language that they know. Wow.
So the only language they can speak.
Wow. And a lot of times some people have that mentality, and this is hurt people that don't understand that they're hurt or doesn't realize they're hurt. Sometimes they have the mentality, I got to get you before you get me, and then people can't even love you correctly if you're dealing with all this hurt, because a lot of times you would think they're out to get you, but they're just trying to love you. Sometimes you can't even accept constructive criticism when someone tries to tell you, hey man, this is not cool the way you're doing it, try taking this route and so on. So they never see that. They never see it in love. And a lot of times, so people try to help you and so on. You can't see it in love because, like I say, I got to get you before you get me, or I'm always feeling like somebody's at me or trying to get at me or so on. And that's not always the case, but some people love you enough to make an investment to let you know what you're doing is not cool. What you're doing is hurting other people. And I will tell you this too. If you don't really pay attention and check yourself when you see yourself in this position, or when people are telling you this, you'll find yourself in a place of isolation where people don't really want to be around you. And usually that kind of triggers other things such as depression and so on. So it's very important. Like if people are saying certain things and enough people are saying the same thing about you and your behaviors or decisions or the hurt that you're causing, it's worth taking a self-reflection to say, what do I need to do differently because I'm hurting people? And most of the time, let's be honest, a lot of times we know we hurting. We know we hurt.
Yeah,
we know
got
we're
some
dealing
inner
with certain
demon
traumas going on that needs to be dealt with, So yeah, that's just my thoughts on that.
So man, it's kind of like how you can grow up in an abusive home, and because you didn't deal with the abuse in the correct way, next thing you know, you lashing out because you was abused.
Yeah.
So the only emotion that you really know how to show is anger.
Yeah.
And so, man, I'm telling you, it's way deeper than what we think when it comes to this unresolved trauma. Because it'll lead us down a path of destruction.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna be voluntary and involuntary. So it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you don't deal with your past.
Yeah.
You cannot heal from something that you deny.
For sure.
You cannot heal from something that you don't recognize.
Yes.
So in order for you to truly heal and to grow and to become everything that God has created you to be, you got to deal with that unresolved trauma. It says your trauma can send somebody else to the emergency room or worse.
Yeah, that's good. And you know something else that I realized too? A lot of time when we grow up in environments that causes trauma, or maybe that's what triggered our trauma, abuse and so on, not even by not dealing with it, sometimes we are attracted to that same type of abuser. And it's or what's bigger than that, we can become the abuser.
Yes. Yes.
Unintentionally.
Yes.
We can become it.
Yes. I agree. I mean,
I've seen it happen multiple times.
Yeah, and you have some people that are some men or boys that grew up in a home where they saw their father being abusive to their mother, and they loved their mother, and they was like, man, I'll never be like that. Yeah. And then one kid grows up and he's exactly like that, and one kid grows up, he's on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yes, but you know, even in situations like that, though, the kid that said, I will never be like that, he probably won't never be like that. But without realizing and still not dealing with the trauma, he started dating someone like that. I done seen it happen before.
Man, that's
he
heavy.
Started dating someone else like that.
That's heavy.
Because all he knew is what he didn't want to be, but he didn't heal himself to a point to know what to attract. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
So I'm telling you, it really happened. Hurt people. Unresolved trauma really creates problems later on, or in the moment, for sure. Yeah.
So unresolved trauma is the number one on our list for tonight on the top 5 reasons why people hurt.
Number 2, the lack of coping skills. Some individuals lack healthy coping skills for dealing with their own pain, leading them to lash out and to hurt others unintentionally. Leading to lash out and hurt others unintentionally. So when you don't know how to cope, to create coping skills for this right here, I'm telling you, you can't receive love in the right way, appropriately. You can't even receive it. And when you don't have coping skills to deal with these traumas, to deal with these frustrations and these things that we're going through, every single thing gonna set you off.
So basically, man, when you lack those coping skills, you lack emotional maturity.
Yes.
So you don't have a good grasp. You don't really know how to control your emotion. You know, so once you feel an emotion, you act on it without thinking.
Yeah.
So that's when you know you lack coping skills, because everybody's going to experience the different emotions. The question is, how are you going to react to them?
Yeah.
What action is going to follow, you know what I'm saying, those emotions?
Yeah.
So if you don't get your coping skills intact, you're going to end up damaging a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
You're going to hurt a lot of people, whether you do it on purpose or unintentionally.
Yeah.
Either way it goes, you're going to cause a lot of hurt. And people when they see you, they're going to see you as a person that's always looking to hurt.
Yeah.
And they're not going to want to be around you.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to, even help you in times when you need help, because you have damaged so many people. You have done so many people wrong just simply because you lack coping skills, and you think that is just, okay, or you think that is normal. It says if we don't know how to deal with an issue properly, we will end up damaging relationships. See, we have problems. You'll have problems communicating your needs and your emotions, and thus you will create toxic environments. Yeah, because you lack coping skills.
Let me ask you this, Zoe. So what are some effective coping skills or mechanisms that you think that people can do to keep from hurting others, to break that cycle of pain and that cycle of hurting others? Like, what are some coping things that you think people could do?
I think as far as coping, one thing you have to recognize your emotions. You have to as we say, you have to become emotionally mature.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to recognize those emotions, and then you have to feel them, and then you have to learn how to deal with them.
Yeah.
Like some people like to run from those feelings. You can't run from grief. You can't run from the pain. You can't run from hurt. You can't run from sadness.
Yeah.
You can't run from those negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Those negative emotions are there to build you. See, when you got joy and you got happiness and all that kind of stuff, I mean, there's nothing for you to push through.
Yeah.
But when you have those negative emotions, you have to learn how to push through. You can simply do that by reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can read.
Good.
You can become knowledgeable of emotions.
Yeah.
See, once you become knowledgeable of your emotions, you can change.
Yeah.
You know how to react better. That's one of the top ways you can sit down, you can talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to therapy. There's a numerous amount of ways that you can learn how to cope.
Yeah,
but you definitely want to talk to somebody.
That's good.
What you got?
I like that. No, I like it. I'm good with that. I got a quote.
What you got?
Real quick. The quote says, "Lashing out is often a sign of internal turmoil. A cry for help wrapped in anger." So sometimes people lashing out, they don't even realize that, well, okay, someone that's around someone that's lashing out need to understand that this person is asking for help and they don't even realize it.
Mm.
They're hurting. People shouldn't be negative all the time on purpose.
Right. You got to have some good days, some good moments.
You got to have some good moments. So when people just instantly lashing out, you can't carry a conversation with them. Everything you say to them, whether it's meant with good intentions, they're taking it in a negative way and so on. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. And so, but like I say, that's just a sign of just anger and all this buildup, this negative buildup that just hasn't been dealt with. And it becomes a problem. And that's why a lot of times people lash out and do some, I mean, it could be over the little simplest thing.
Yep.
And they will just straight lose it.
I know, man, when I was early on in marriage, probably like 25, 26. And because sometimes I didn't want to deal with my emotions and I would just kind of let stuff slide. And then something simple as my wife drinking up the one juice in the refrigerator that I like, and she has everything else, but she drinks up my juice, and I flipped out. And it wasn't because you drunk up the juice, so to say. It was everything else because I didn't cope. I didn't deal with, those things. I let it build all the way up. The next thing I know, I done flipped out over some juice, and it's like, bro, you tripping.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's times to where, I had to do self-reflection.
Yeah.
But it's times to where it be simple things like Dwayne just said that just trigger us.
Real cool.
And what I'm learning also when it comes to dealing with coping is to go ahead and address the situation before you let it boil. Yeah. Before you let it simmer. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and sit down and talk with, so whoever that person is. Yeah. And let them know, like, hey, man, when you did this, it made me feel like this. Yeah. Like, Brian trying to come at you all weird or anything like that. Especially if you're talking from a guy to guy, like, hey, bro, man, like, what you did, I feel like it was pretty lame. Like, that was a cornball move. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. Yeah. If you wouldn't go there again. You know what I'm saying? You really called your boy out. However you got to say it to still be cool, but let them know, like, hey, bro, that was whack. Yeah, So you want to do that before you let stuff build. Next thing you know, you ready to blow up on him or her.
Yeah, that's good, man. I like it. I think a lot of people need to know how to deal with someone that is we consider as a hurt person that continues to hurt people. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times people need to know how do I deal with someone that act or carry themselves in that way. When is the best times to approach them and to address them? How do I address them? Mm. You got what I'm saying?
I'm thinking that, man, that we actually have to recognize that the person that is like hurting and doing all this, we got to realize, like you said in your quote, that they dealing with something internal. Yes. Like, and not be so ready to punish them. Mm-hmm. You know how we talk about in the school systems, when a kid is bullying. Yeah. We're so quick to punish and discipline a bully, which I get that. Yeah. But we forget sometimes to sit down and talk like, hey, what is going on? No. Why are you doing these things?
For sure.
What's going on in your home life?
Yep.
What are you missing at home?
Yep.
So that's my thing. Like, don't just punish, and discipline without sitting down having a conversation.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, because if you don't, it's like if you just continue to allow it and you don't get to the bottom of it, then what are you teaching them?
Right.
Like, what are they supposed to take away from it? And so a lot of times some people just kind of let it just flow, and instead of getting to the bottom of it, like you said. And like I said, their behavior, it just grows, and it's almost like a silent endorsement to it.
Yes. Because you punishing the behavior without correcting it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we think that the punishment is actually the correction.
Yeah.
No, that's not the correction.
I need you to understand.
Yes, I need to show you how you can walk this thing out and actually change.
You remember back in the day when your parents, when you get a spanking or get a whooping or something like that, and they say it's hurt me more than it hurt you.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but they never explained why it hurt them more than it hurt you. But you understand now.
Yeah.
But like, what if they explain, just really talk to the child like that to say, hey,
broke it down to their level.
Yeah, to broke it down to their level.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I try, when I'm dealing with my boys to, let them know, like, look, this is why, I need for you to do this. And then sometimes it's just like, man, I just need for you to be quiet and to do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
I can explain on the back end, but right now, just get it done.
Yeah.
But like I said, coping skills was number 2 on our list.
Yes.
I got a quote on that one. It says, if you can't cope, you'll eventually lose hope.
Wow.
So if you can't cope, you will eventually lose hope.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, if you don't learn to deal with life appropriately, if you don't learn to cope with what life hits you, because life is a fight, life is going to knock you out. Sometimes you may be down for the 5 count or the 8 count or 9 count or just the 1 count, but life is going to punch you. It's going to hit you. It's going to knock you out. Yeah. The question is, are you going to bounce back? How are you going to bounce back? And how are you going to cope with what just happened to you? If you can't cope, you'll eventually lose hope.
That's good. That's good. I love it. We're ready to go to the next one.
All right. So number 3 on our list of top 5 reasons why hurt people hurt. Cycle of abuse. Those who have experienced abuse may continue the cycle by unconsciously repeating the same patterns they have been subjected to, inflicting pain on others as they have experienced themselves. Hurt people hurt. Yeah. See, every home creates a cycle.
Yeah.
Every home, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
For sure.
So we all have grown up in a home or a house that birthed a cycle in us. So we saw certain things that happen in the home, and unconsciously, when we get out, we repeat it too. And it could be simple things, or it could be detrimental things. So you have been abused. Some people have been abused so long when they was growing up that they perceived it to be normal. So when they get out and they start living, and because they don't know how to deal with certain things, because they've been abused in the past, when stuff go left in their relationships, they want to get physical.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, the cycle of abuse. You saw it. You experienced it. Now you thinking that this is normal. Yeah. Until you get into a relationship and somebody explains like, hey, nah, bro. Or you start talking to people like, no, that's not normal. No, that's not normal. That's abuse. That's you're inflicting physical pain. That is not normal. And then it says it can be something simple as a lot of people, they grow up in this is not dealing with abuse, but we're talking about a cycle right now. Yeah. That's sometime implanted in us as we grow up, like financially. Yeah. Like, a lot of homes don't teach you financial literacy. They don't teach you, about credit cards.
Take it day by day.
Debt. Yeah. They don't teach you, how to be ready to buy your first house. How to budget. How to manage your money. Yes. They don't how much you should spend on a vehicle. All these different things. They don't teach you these in the home. So therefore, when you get out on your own, you are bad financially. Yes. But also, there's some good things that we teach as far as cycles. Yeah. Like the importance of family. Yes. I feel like a lot of homes, they do try to talk about and instill a cycle that family is important. I know you itching over there, my man. Go ahead and tell me what you got on the cycle of abuse for number 3. You was itching, boy. You was plowing up your seat.
No, I just agree with you. Like you said, a lot of people don't really, a lot of families don't really talk about the pain or the cycle of these different type of abuse and so on. But it happens though. The things that we fail to talk about are normally the things that we become victims of, and that's a fact.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact. Just because we don't talk about them doesn't mean that it's not there.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's just gonna go away.
Doesn't mean it don't exist.
Yeah, it's not just gonna go away. And so yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered everything. I just know the cycle is real. And I think we should love ourselves enough to get a self-evaluation or to, I think everybody should seek out for therapy or to talk to somebody at some point, just because sometimes we may think we have the best life or living the best life, but sometimes we can maybe not be aware of some things that we got going on or so on. So I just think at some point all of us have build up, and a lot of times I feel like that can help make us aware of some things that may not be considered normal, even though we have accepted them as being normal.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah.
And with that, I mean, a lack of knowledge plays a part into a lot of abuse. You know, like you just said, just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And by not talking about it, you therefore never learn about it. So therefore you lack knowledge in it. And anytime you lack knowledge in it, you can pretty much believe there's going to be some type of setback and destruction that comes with not knowing certain things.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, it could be simple things, you know, from finances to the importance of family, even alcohol abuse. Yeah. You know, if you grew up in a home and you saw your father or your mother or loved one that liked to drink all the time, but they were functioning or behind closed doors, you know, they were dealing with alcoholism. Yeah. But because they never told you about these things, you never saw the ill side effects of drinking at a high level, you thinking it's okay.
Yeah.
And so as parents, we cannot hide our issues from our kids. Okay? Especially when they get to an age where you start to see that they're doing things that you used to do that led you down that road. So that's what I'm saying. Like, by having knowledge of the situation, your child, as he grows or she grows, they're less likely to make those same mistakes. And if they do make it, you can already say, well, I've already told you about it. I already set you down and talked to you about it. So when this thing shows up, you know to run. And some things you're not strong enough to fight. You just got to remove yourself. You got to flee. You got to run. You got to get away.
Yeah.
What you got?
So this is just random, but do you think a lot of times a lot of hurt people, not so much of, well, we definitely say it's not just cause of abuse, but sometimes just the insecurities of themselves, where it could be, I don't know, they think someone may be more attractive. A lot of people are not okay with their body.
Yeah.
The shape of their body and so on. So the first thing they do is try to start dogging somebody else out because maybe they're getting attention by their appearance and so on. So I kind of feel like there's a lot of factors that go into why hurt people, but I do believe insecurities as well.
See, I think insecurities goes back to dealing with your coping skills.
Yeah,
it kind of ties in with that because your emotions,
knowing who you are.
Yeah. And so if you can't cope with who you are, if you can't accept yourself for who you are, then of course you're gonna be ready to lash out and abuse people and dog people and talk about people because you're not confident in who you are. So you got to strip down the next person's confidence.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with you, my guy.
That's good, man.
I definitely agree with you. You got a quote over there?
Yes, sir. Real quick, I have a quote. It says, "Breaking the cycle of abuse requires a conscious effort to rewrite the narrative of our past."
That's good.
Yeah,
that's spot on.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
It says, "Breaking the cycle of abuse requires a conscious effort to rewrite the narrative of our past."
So you can't break this cycle without putting forth effort.
You got to put forth the effort.
Come on.
And say, the past is over and this is a new beginning. and I'm going to put in the work to do what I have to do to make my future the future I deserve, to see my best version, to become my best version, and to be able to treat others better.
So it stops with you.
Yeah.
It stops with me.
Yes, sir.
So, man, so the cycle of abuse, if it's a cycle, you can always stop it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it has to continue. So we can put a plug in this thing and stop it. Yeah. Stop the abuse, become more knowledgeable, and man, and put forth the effort.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, bro.
And I would say too, before we move on, it's detrimental, especially if you are parents, because a lot of times we can be lashing out and we can do a lot of things and carry a lot of negative behaviors, and unintentionally our kids are observing and paying attention, and they pick up these same traits, and it becomes their norm when this is not even normal.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, and it's not even normal. So here it is. They have to grow up feeling a certain type of way. We still talk, and that's cycles. They have to grow up feeling a certain type of way, thinking that this is normal, and get put into an environment or around people where it's looked at like, and you toxic.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to be around you.
Yeah. And they don't even know it.
Yeah. But they feel like it's normal.
Yeah. And some people, like, they like to say, well, this is just who I am. This is how I was raised.
Yeah.
But that don't mean you got to stay that way.
Yeah.
That's because you was raised, you know what I'm saying, in an inappropriate way, or you was raised in a home that, you know, they dropped the ball in certain areas.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean it has to stay that way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to learn and surround yourself with people that are smarter, that are going places, that are doing things different, so they can bring you up to their level.
Yeah.
Stop hanging around people that's doing the same stuff you doing.
Yeah.
He says if you hang around, it says that the average person like to hang around average people because it justifies the mediocrity.
Yeah.
So stop being mediocre.
Yeah. I like what you said too. You do not get a green light to mistreat and hurt someone else because what you saw in the past or what you saw growing up, because you refuse to do something about it to make it better for yourself and to make it better for others. You don't get a green light to do that. To mistreat everybody, and that's a disclaimer that you use. No, that's not cool.
No, if somebody has brought it to your attention that you hurting people, bro, sis, you need to go get help.
Yes.
We didn't have therapists on the show.
Yes.
Like, reach out to them.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Like if people know that, man, this dude right here, he toxic.
Yeah.
This lady right here, she toxic.
Yeah.
And you know that you've heard it.
Yeah.
Take self-reflection and go get help.
Yeah.
Because there's no excuse to stay in that world, that environment, because the people that you have influence over are still watching you.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so key.
Absolutely.
It's not just hurting you. It's hurting those that look up to you.
Absolutely. I agree. 100%.
Come on.
100%. It's on me right now?
No, it's on me.
Okay, let's go.
No, it is on you.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So the fourth point is seeking control. All right. We talking about hurt people that hurt people. Seeking control. They seek control. Hurting others can be a way for individuals to exert to control in their lives. Especially if they feel powerless. So if they feel powerless, that's the first thing they're going to do is try to be manipulative and try to seek control, whatever they got to do to get that attention, or out of control in other areas. So if things they can't control or whatever, then that's how they'll try to do. They'll try to control the situation or try to put themselves in the center focus of, and so on. So hurt people, like I say, they try to seek control. They always got to be the big shot. It always got to be about them. You can't do this. You can't do that. And belittling others and so on. Yeah.
My way or the highway.
That's it. That's
my way or the highway.
That's it. And they'll try to position you in a way where you feel like you can't move without them. You can't move without them.
They'll make you feel like you're ignorant.
Yeah.
Even though you may know a whole lot about the topic or the situation. Yeah. But they'll make you feel ignorant, or they'll allow talk to you, or they'll talk so hard and at you that you feel like, oh, bro, maybe he do know what he's talking about. They good at fooling you.
Yes. And I say this too. This is what we got to remember. Some people can be aware of their dysfunction, and they do put in the work to continue to be manipulative or to continue to just behave the way they behave because they love the control factor.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is just as easy as a football player go and practice to be the best football player. A thief go and practice or whatever, and try to be the best thief they can, try to study their target and so on. And teachers go and do whatever. My whole point is this specific person that we're talking about that seeks control gonna put in the work to figure out, to study their prey, to study their person, whoever it is, and to seek however they can to try to figure out how to control this person. They steps ahead of the game. They gonna manipulate. They gonna do whatever they can to control, to belittle, to make you feel as if you can't have better, you don't deserve better, you're not gonna get better. Why? Because I'm in control, because I'm subliminally hurt. I know I'm hurt. I'm frustrated. I don't care about other things about myself. I'm envious of you some kind of way. And it's about me. It's not about anyone else. And I love to be in control. This is a hurt person that needs to get help.
Bro, you said a lot in that. And when you said the word pray, it brought to my mind this. It says that these type of people that are seeking control, they like to prey on weak-minded individuals.
Yes.
Individual that's not gonna buck the system, that's not gonna challenge you, that's not gonna think for themselves.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Yeah. Because if you do, then you the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they already know, like, nah, I can't do it to this person or that person because, you know what I'm saying, they strong will, they strong mind. They don't necessarily need me.
Yes.
But these people over here, man, I can manipulate them.
Yeah.
I can control them.
Yeah.
I can make them feel like I am the one. I am that guy or that girl, and now they got to follow me.
Yeah.
It says that manipulation sometimes can look like love. A person can be doing all this stuff for you. You know,
agenda.
There you go, with an alternative motive.
Yes, sir.
Just to get you under their wing.
Yes, sir.
Just to get you, you know what I'm saying, in their web. So now they can just pretty much they can pull the strings like a puppet in your life. And you will do everything that they asking you to do because you feel like you need them. Yeah. Like you can't live without, you can't survive without them. And I'm telling you, man, they real slick with it too.
But you know, sometimes they recognize that you hurt too. You just hurt in a different aspect. And because you hurt and you don't recognize you hurt, they take advantage of it. Because you're hurt, but you're broken hurt. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and they see your weakness.
Yes, sir.
They see the areas where you need validation. They see the areas where you don't understand your purpose. You don't understand your worth. You don't understand your value. So another hurt person is going to take the advantage of that. They're going to manipulate it. They're going to control it. They're going to continue the cycle. They're going to abuse. They're going to do all these different kind of things because they recognize that you hurt.
Bro, they're going to maximize your gifts and talents.
Yes.
And use it to further their agenda.
Yes.
While you sit back and you get nothing.
Yes.
You just get drained. You get exhausted and you get used, misused, and abused.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
Man, it says right here, these type of people, they like to control and they like to manipulate because it gives them a sense of power and security. So when they're doing these things, because they are dealing with this control, because they're hurting, because they're dealing with this thing, so they got to seek control.
Wow. And
so once they get that control, it feels like it gives them like a jolt of energy. Yeah. Now they feel like they got that power and that security.
Yeah, you know, something else I learned too when we talking about control is the control issue can get so bad that they'll try to discredit you to others.
Just to stay ahead of the narrative.
Just to stay ahead of the narrative.
To control
how other people see
and view you. Boy, that's good.
And deal with you.
Man, that's good.
I'm telling you now. I'm telling you, we're talking about a control freak.
So I'm telling you, look, when you see a person, when you're connected and you see a person, you start watching them and it's like their way or the highway. Yeah. They're always right. They always, you know what I'm saying? You can see them manipulating others. Yeah. If you see them manipulate others, guess what? They will manipulate you too. Yeah. You're not too good for them not to manipulate. It just ain't your season. Yeah. So as long as they are controlling and they feel like you are weak-minded, they're gonna manipulate you too.
Let me say this before we move forward, because I'm loving this right here, this control point. Let me say this too. If you sit around someone long enough that is broken and hurt like this, and they're not trying to be better. They've had people to tell them that what you're doing is not right, is not cool. And you sit around this person long enough, you will eventually become them. And to a point, you are endorsing their behavior. And there's only just amount of time before it turns on you.
Mm.
That's the reality. That is the reality, man.
That's good.
the reality. I won't continue to put myself in a place where I know I'm gonna be hurt by someone that's not only hurt, but they damaged.
Yeah. And they'll continue. This is what's so, it's so deep when it comes to this control thing. The person that is seeking control can hurt the person.
Yes.
And that person will still stay connected to him.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll get even deeper connected to him.
Yeah.
Like they've already shown you that they've hurt others. They've hurt you in the past.
That's what I'm saying.
But now you're gonna connect to them, reconnect to them in a different level.
You know that this person.
Come on,
man, come on.
And then they don't like getting feedback or criticism.
Yeah,
because you can't criticize me. I'm the one controlling all this.
Yeah.
I'm the mastermind behind this. You can't criticize or try to, give feedback to the mastermind.
Yes, sir.
So they feel like they got all the answers.
Mm.
And that's why they have issues when it comes to life, when it comes to hurting people.
Yeah.
Because deep down inside, they're hurting. And their hurt is shown by their need to control.
Yeah.
If you're strong-minded, you can pull back and you can separate yourself from those that you feel like, are seeking control.
Yeah.
Distance yourself. Don't mean you got to be disrespectful. That don't mean you got to, hate on them. That don't mean anything like that. It's just time for you to just, it's just that season of your life is just over.
Yeah.
And you just have to receive that and move on.
Yeah.
It says that, and this is another thing that these type of individuals have when they're seeking control because they're hurting. When you need control, you will disregard morals, values, just for the chance to dominate and be in power.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see, you be like, man, how can he say that? Or how can she do this? Or how can he do that? It's because, man, they seeking control on such a high level, they hurting so bad that they'll put aside the morals and the values just to stay in power, to get power, to gain power, and to dominate.
Yeah.
So hurt people hurt.
Yes.
And they like to seek control.
Yes.
So if you got somebody in your life that's controlling, and they're hurting individuals around you, it's just a matter of time
before it's you.
That's
good. Man, elevate your mind, elevate your life.
Elevated chat room. We in here. It's your boy.
Yeah. I got a quote for you. I got a quote for you real quick. The quote says, "Control becomes a substitute for healing when wounds run too deep to address." I say it one more time. Control becomes a substitute for healing when wounds run too deep to address.
So instead of healing, they cope by controlling.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Bro.
Yes.
So instead of healing, they cope.
Yes, sir.
By controlling.
They cope by controlling, man. I'm telling you. And when they get to the point where they can no longer control you, they're going to try to control those around you or the ones that care for you.
That's good.
Yeah.
So number 4 on our list was seeking control. All right. Number 5, and the last one on the list, is emotional disconnect.
It's a good one.
It says some people may struggle to empathize or connect with others due to their own emotional numbness or detachment, making it easier for them to harm others without fully understanding the impact of their actions. So when you can emotionally disconnect, you become a very dangerous person.
Yeah.
There's really no limits.
Yeah.
They have no regard for anything. If you can disconnect from all types of emotions.
Yeah.
I know like the Navy SEALs and these military guys that go through these special trainings, some of them are taught to disconnect from certain emotions. Why? Because it makes them more dangerous.
Yeah. Even when you say that, emotional disconnect, if I came to you in the right way, you still wouldn't even receive it like that. You couldn't even be sensitive enough to understand the heart and the love that I'm coming with by even trying to address whatever this situation is.
There's no emotions there. So, I mean, it's like you, as they say, you've grown cold.
Yeah.
You got a hardened heart.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible for you to connect with somebody on any level because you're so cold. See, when you lack empathy, and you cannot put yourself in the other person's shoes, or you will not, or you refuse to put yourself in the other person's shoes, you, my friend, have become a dangerous person. I know another thing that helped me deal with empathy. Like normally, when somebody will pass away, somebody young would pass away, and you will see it on Facebook, or somebody asks you to pray for them. You're like, "Y'all pray for you," but you don't. But you may pray sometimes, and you don't sometimes. But you're not as serious, because you lack empathy, right? You're emotionally disconnect. We all experience emotional disconnect, but not to the point where we're hurting people.
Yeah.
Okay, so there may be a time where somebody asks you to do something, somebody that's passed away, they want you to pray or whatever, and because you're not emotionally attached to the person, you're disconnected. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll pray," but you ain't all in.
Yeah.
And so what happened to me back in August of last year, my cousin got shot and killed. 33 years old. Was like a little brother to me.
Yeah.
And at that moment, it really caused me to look at all these other people in the world that had experienced what I was experiencing, or that was going to experience what I experienced. And it shook me to my core, because now when somebody asks me to pray, I pray right then.
Yes.
Because I understand now. I felt the pain. I felt the hurt. I felt every emotion that came with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "No, man, like, if you tell me to pray for you, especially when somebody young has passed away,
yes,
I got you."
Yes.
Because like I said, I've been there. So when you when you have to live that life, you have to go through that thing in life, it causes you to have that empathy and that sincerity to be able to truly help that next person that's in that situation.
Yeah.
To not judge them, to not jump to conclusions about why that person got killed or how he got killed. Because we like to do that so we can justify, oh, well, he should have been out there doing this and that.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, that's somebody's son.
Yes.
That's somebody's father.
Yes.
That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's homeboy. That's somebody's cousin.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So come on. Like I said, when you can become emotionally connected by putting yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
And thinking, man, what if that was my cousin, my brother, my sister, my mom? So when somebody asks you to do something for them, and it's going to cause you to sacrifice, hey, that sacrifice is going to show them how much you really care, how much you really love them.
Yeah.
Because sacrifice is the ultimate sign of love. If somebody claim they love you and you can't track the sacrifice, then you can question how much they truly love you.
Big facts.
Come on. That's 100.
That's good.
Like I said, we talked tonight, top 5 reasons why hurt people hurt. Number 1 was unresolved trauma. Number 2, lack of coping skills. Number 3, just a cycle of abuse. Number 4, seeking control. And number 5, emotional disconnect. Dwayne, you got anything else, my guy?
I don't have anything else. We just thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Elevated Chat Room. We're here to elevate your mind so that we can help elevate your life.
Elevated Chat Room. We out.